cutting through the noise, SEO content strategies for 2025. So SEO, ever changing, ever evolving, and it always seems organic, doesn't it, to sort of look back, to kind of look forward. So let's start off, I suppose, by checking in with sort of, where we're currently at in terms of the landscape shift. Kieran, you're the Google expert. You can take us away.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's a Google expert. If someone says they're a Google expert, you're wrong. I think it's more a case of what not to do in SEO and content, but definitely in all my years of trying to grow brands online, I've never seen a year like 2024 and the algorithm updates and the changes in the space. I know we definitely need to talk about social media with that, but 2024 has been the craziest year for SEO or building a brand online that I've ever seen. And it's because of Google algorithm updates, ChatGPT, social media and TikTok and these platforms, and consumer behavior changing as well. Like I know not as many people maybe are using Google search anymore. They're using other platforms to search. So many different things attacking and changing this space. So it's definitely got me thinking for next year, that's for sure.
In your opinion, what's the main sort of takeaway, I suppose, in terms of how AI has then impacted like SEO through organic search? What's the main thing you think that you would take away from the last year?
Yeah, again, there's loads. I'm thinking, so when you think of AI, mass content production. So again, we would have had clients that come in and they might have had 5 or 10 pages of content on the website. We've been able to help them and encourage them to add a few more pages. Next thing, all of a sudden, websites have 50 to 100 pages of content on them, which is great. They're targeting local searches and they're getting traffic, but obviously that's having an impact for Google and how much content it has to consume and rank. And I just imagine that's happening in every city across the UK, Ireland, around the world. And that has a real cost. So Google, Bing, and the other search engines are really struggling to try and see what's good content or what's just copy paste AI generated rubbish. And again, as business owners, we need to make sure that our content stands head and shoulders above the rest. And there's a couple of things you can do for that. Again, using AI and humanizing it, using it as a planning tool as opposed to a copy paste. And we've done loads of tests around that. There's things that you could do on your website, such as EAT. So again, showing your expertise, authority, and trust, and it's EEAT now. So it's experience, expertise, authority, and trust. So that's where you are showing, what you're an expert in, showing that you've got awards. On our website, for example, we've got all our profiles now of who's touched an article. And again, we're trying to display that we are experts in what we're talking about, and hopefully that the search engines pick that up, and then that will improve our ranking over time. And then, as I say, user behaviors change as well. So that's a big one that we definitely need to talk about today.
Something there that you mentioned, like showing expertise and trust. I think something that I would take away, I suppose, from last year is the importance of the review and, customer feedback and like authenticating your business in the eyes of any search engine, to show that because of AI advancements, that's a business's USP, isn't it? That there's people behind the business, and that it's people led, and showcasing those human connections, I suppose, is really important, isn't it?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
and I
I would.
know. Laura's going to say I've seen a few of the reviews coming in for you. So yeah, I would dance. I think 2024 for us for ProfileTree, the reviews have been incredible. And again, I know, say Laura, you've been chasing and instrumental in grabbing a few of those as well.
Yes, I've even when you were talking about the EEAT update, in terms of credibility, building your Google My Business profile. So linking to what Nuala said about reviews, in terms of Trustpilot reviews as well. I know a lot of my clients, when I do an SEO session with them, it's definitely an important part to include within your business strategy now that, again, you're building the credibility of the business behind it, and then that's going to help you rank on Google as well, which is great.
And it's that editorial sort of ethical use of AI, isn't it? That, that we're sort of communicating, the importance of that to every client or, that we work with, that it's using it to your advantage to support your content and making your content as well relevant to your business and your keywords relevant to your business, not just trying to target, short tail keywords with a huge search volume, that the keywords are nation specific and relevant because that's the content your audience wants to consume. And that's the content that then makes it relevant for them to come to you via organic search.
We've got websites with just pure AI content. We've got websites pure handwritten content. We've got websites with a mix of both. And what we're seeing is that you can launch a website and have AI content only on it to a point, but at some point, the search engines are looking at that content on that website and going, okay, this clearly is AI generated content, and you will hit a plateau, maybe even start to decline. So AI content does take you a little bit of the way, but back to your point is you need its AI plus human element or intervention or expertise to add that extra finesse to what you're sharing online and showing the expertise, because again, the AI can just regurgitate what's online. It doesn't know if we're talking about the best things to do in Belfast or what to do in Dublin. It will read what's online, but if something new has started and you're local and you can add that into an article that AI has helped you create, then that's where the gold is, and that new content will be picked up.
Yeah, one thing I would always recommend to my clients, I think, when you're probably some of them are a bit reluctant to start using AI, but then when you vocalize how much time is going to be saved that they can spend on maybe business administration or other marketing procedures, then they're all in for AI. But it's always, you have to teach clients to be mindful of their use in AI. So I would always recommend that it's good for the creativity point of it, that, you're maybe if you're stuck for blog ideas, that maybe you can use AI to help you. And then again, as Kieran said, with the human touch as well. But I think one thing I would really recommend to my clients that I've seen a lot of within 2024, and I think it'll grow in 25, is that like data-driven blog content. So maybe doing some research beforehand in terms of keyword research. A lot of the tools we would use would be Ubersuggest, SEMrush, maybe Google Analytics and Google Trends as well. There's also a new site which I saw last week. It's also by Neil Patel, who runs Ubersuggest. I think it's called Answer the Public. So you can get basically questions or pain points of your customers for blogs, or maybe for short form content as well. So I've started relaying that to clients that maybe you need to do a bit of, data driven research before you start to utilize AI. It's not just jumping straight into it, and then, you're going to create more targeted blog content as well.
That's great, because a good SEO strategy tries to, in my opinion, answer the pain points through this sort of strategic, like, keyword research that's thinking about what are people's challenges that they face and how do we create content that then touches those pain points, because that problem solution content tends to perform very well, doesn't it? And when we think about then, I suppose, social media and SEO and this huge shift in sort of for it going from, it being all about of course, about the quality of the video content itself on, say, a platform like TikTok or Instagram, but also now we're starting to see this shift in algorithms using keywords in written copy and in captions in short form videos to inform where algorithms place video content. What's your sort of thoughts on that, Laura, or your opinion there?
Well, I know we'd previously spoken about this, Nuala, in terms of what we call the death of the hashtag, which sounds very poignant, I guess. Yeah, bit of drama within the digital marketing landscape. But basically that means within social media algorithms, again, they're looking at the quality of the content as well. So recently I've started to maybe push keyword research a lot more with clients, not just with websites, but also in terms of keywords within their social media. So platforms particularly like Instagram and TikTok, and I would say LinkedIn as well, those three in particular are really looking at the keywords either within the bio or the actual content itself. So that could be, as you say, the captions, maybe leaning towards using more keyword focused captions as opposed to not putting it up for the sake of a caption. But I think a lot of clients think, well, if I've got a great, static image or video, that's kind of me set, I'll post it and go viral. But I think there's a lot of, planning beforehand that goes on. So not just looking at blogs for keyword research, but also social media as well. That's what I would recommend to clients.
That keyword research is so integral because people want to find your content. If it's,
Mhm.
problem solution content, people are, if they're going to a search engine with, say, informational search intent, they're trying to get some information, some data first. The keyword research in the SEO is all about making your content discoverable so
Mhm.
that, it can be seen and it can be picked up and put in front of the right person, the potential customer, potential client, I think it's so interesting, like you mentioned there, the kind of death of the hashtag. Kieran, is there any in sort of, the website world, any dramatic terms like that, the death of any?
Maybe no deaths.
Probably, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen as many death of SEO memes or videos or
Yeah.
articles as they did this year. But yeah, we see it every year. Again, it's good headline and good clickbait. But what to do? I couldn't resist based on Laura's mention there of Answer the Public. So Neil Patel
Mm.
bought Answer the Public, the record for around 8 million, and it had about 1 million visits a month when it was purchased. But he bought it again. Neil's very smart, so Neil Patel links. So his agency would link to a few articles on our site. So again, would reference us. So very good to see. Yeah, so good authority. Back to that.
Great.
Authority trust.
Building your credibility.
No,
The backlink.
exactly, that's what it is. Exactly, but very very smart strategy. So the reason Neil bought Answer the Public was to add a lot of data into his keyword tool Uber Suggest, and obviously he's got his digital agency, he's got Uber Suggest, he's got Answer the Public. So now between those two tools, he's got coverage of 30 billion keywords, and he analyzes 50 trillion backlinks, and they operate in 249 countries. So a very smart business move,
Mhm.
adding another product into the mix. So I couldn't resist that one. So yeah, Answer the Public is a brilliant tool. Absolutely amazing to get ideas for new content that people are really asking for.
Mm. And with social media, I suppose the kind of the way to do your keyword research is to in platform, going into the platform, researching the keywords that are relevant to your business and what you do. Also to get inspiration for things like reels and carousels, what are other people in my niche doing, that I can then not replicate or copy, but
Yeah, and inspiration is
get
usually the term I use.
inspiration.
Yes.
Exactly. A good wee hack or a tip for a social media would be to, have if there's spoken word in your video, to always have captions on so that the algorithm can pick up the keywords within the written captions on the video. I suppose that's a wee hack or a wee tip. What are you seeing in 2025 then, Kieran, as things to look out for in the world of SEO or big things that are upcoming?
Yeah, so definitely I see a closer alignment of social media and other platforms with SEO. Traditionally, when you think SEO, you're thinking search engines, but now it's the AI engines, it's the ask engines, it's the social media. I think it's all going to blend a little bit more. SEOs used to focus on search, traditional search engines. Can't do that anymore. I think we need to look at how these other platforms are going, because again, I know younger audience are definitely searching on Instagram and TikTok. We need to be there. The video return in search as well, shorts especially. Again, we see Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok appear in Google search. Really interesting. I'm seeing, again, I don't know if you're seeing it, I'm seeing videos now appear when I search in ChatGPT and look for results. I'm seeing them videos from YouTube embedded within ChatGPT, so you play it and watch it within the ChatGPT ecosystem. You don't leave it. So video as ever, and I know we talked about it before, it's going nowhere. So yeah, a blur between everything, but yeah, it's and I would have said historically you could have got away with lazy SEO, just pick a keyword, throw content up, and it would rank. Those days are definitely gone. Back to, you need to understand the intent. Just targeting informational content, which is easy to do, is no value. You need to know the commercial intent of what people are searching for your product or service, and you need that content on your website. And then take that keyword and then create the content on your social media or video and everywhere else as well.
A huge thing I'm working with a lot of clients on at the moment, and then maybe a year or two, Laura, is optimization of content that already exists. So
Definitely, yes.
I think we all get very keen, don't we, to let's we'll churn out content, we'll pump out content. Actually, let's optimize what we already have. make sure it's, the best it can possibly be, and also up to date and current, so that a search engine goes, oh yes, these people know what they're talking about, and that optimization almost it's an ongoing role in itself, isn't it? Married together with the publication of new content as well. Would a lot of your clients be, asking about SEO optimization too, Laura?
Yeah, I would say internally and externally. So a lot of my role currently, but running up to Christmas, is the optimization of blogs and YouTube content. So my job would be to go back and, as I say, use the keyword research tools, and then maybe, change the intent of a blog or the YouTube video. So I've recommended that to my clients a lot as well, that I think when they see that they can create content with AI and how quickly they can do it, it's great that they're eager, as you say, to churn out content, but we also still need to maintain that quality over quantity in terms of like Google's helpful content update, the EEAT helpful content update. So I would say optimization is probably as important as creating, quality new content. So it's definitely finding that balance between the two.
It's probably best practice could be 60-70% updating old content, and the other balance is adding new content. I think Laura's totally on the button. It is so easy to create new content. It's the thing that everyone jumps to do first, but you've got all these landing pages, service pages, old blogs that need a bit of TLC, and ironically, they could be actually damaging or degrading your impact of your website. If you've got all these pages of 200 words or 100 words and Google's spending time crawling them, it's taken away from the good pages. So yeah, there's a lot to be said for going back and updating what you have already, and that's probably something that the search engines will lean into, because again, if you've got a website of 3,000 or 4,000 pages, it's going to get very hard to go back and keep that fresh and up to date. So yeah, it's going to get interesting with the big websites now in the next year or two.
Yeah, and I think as well in 2025, it's all about, like we chatted about earlier, that human connection, that authenticity of a business, the authenticity in the eyes of any search engine, any algorithm, and to ensure that it means that, it's not just about one page on your site anymore. You're thinking about your domain authority as a whole and how that, affects or impacts where you're placed. It's not, we're not just talking about, having one page optimized for a specific keyword. It's the entirety of your digital presence, not just one page or even just your website, but as a whole, like you said, Kieran, all these things integrating kind of together, and that impacting how you're seen overall, essentially.
I'd love to get your views as well on long form content. So it's something we would have, obviously we loved back in the day, back when SEO was good and easy. And we, again, we've so many articles on all the websites that we have, but one that we always go to is the blog versus vlog article. So if you Google blog versus vlog, we would have always historically been number one, and it's a page with 8,000, 9,000 words on it, maybe 20 or 30 images. But now in this last update, I see it's dropped down to maybe 3 or 4, and we haven't got the AI answer, which is really interesting. So what we're trying to do there is bring a short answer to the top of the page and answer that quick question in case that's what the customer's after. But obviously now we need to look at, we've went ahead and created videos for the page and breaking it down to the smaller content. But what's your view? You're both trendy and younger than me. So for longer content, longer form content, what would you advise a client today?
I would say it's still important for a business, it's not to discard it completely within your digital strategy, but I definitely think the way the social media and the SEO landscape is moving, it is definitely about shorter form content going into 2025. In terms of attention spans with people, particularly from my demographic, as I apologize to everybody. But just in general, I think that people, they're busy people. They maybe don't want to read like a 4,000 word blog. They do want that short, snappy content, as you say, Kieran, that specifically answers their question. So that's why your keyword research beforehand with tools such as Answer the Public is so important. And that, yes, you're creating keyword clusters around that topic, but you're really getting the client the answer as quickly as possible as well. So it's, again, a mixture of both of them is good.
I always mention to clients that, SEO is the clever kind of marrying together of your on-page written content your technical side of your website, your like the UX, the user experience on the page. And I think there is space for that longer form content if it's done cleverly with like little drop like arrows to click here and read a little bit more, or watch a video very high up the top of the page to grab someone's attention in and keep them reading. You know, I think that there's space for both. I think that we're maybe going to see some longer form video content. I think that there's going to be a sort of shift in the idea of series on social media. Come back to watch the next part in the series, which in the
Just
in the
like
realms-
us.
yeah, well, but in the realms of social media, that's long form because you're asking someone to buy in, aren't you, to get them to come back and watch another video. But if we're thinking about on a page on a site, we can be really clever with the design of the site so that we can have that big stream of written text, but it's not just 9,000 words of written text. It's cleverly designed so and integrated in different kind of wee sections, you know, so that it's engaging. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm either doing blog content for clients or teaching them how to do it. You have to imagine it from the eyes of the user. So if I was reading this page for the first time, is there too much text? Does it need to be broken up, as you say, with maybe a credible source or an infograph? I would talk with my clients a lot about like linkable assets is apparently going to be very popular in 2025 with SEO. So again, building that credibility, maybe with guest posts as well. So I just think it's, as you say, a marrying of the two is important. Yeah.
We started today talking about Google Maps. I'm just wondering, a question I have is what's your customers' reaction when you start talking about the importance of reviews and EAT and all these trust signals? Do they know and are using Google Maps, or is there still a little bit of lack of knowledge out there and lack of understanding and importance? And are they using any other platforms? Is it just Google? Or are they thinking of Trustpilot and TripAdvisor and even Bing? Like I'm even looking at Bing Maps. I went and updated our profile the other day because of obviously ChatGPT and Microsoft coming back in. So yeah, we've just updated our and added a few more photos and things to our Bing Map. But again, I don't know how many people are using that. But yeah, we need to be ever present. So be keen to understand what's happening in the wild.
If I'm working with someone and they're hesitant or reluctant towards a Google Maps profile, I'm always sort of explaining to them to treat it almost as like another social media platform that you need to update. You know, you need to be present on it to signal that you're active. I generally don't see a reluctance to use it because it's so, I think, popular now and integrated kind of in a digital footprint for a business, essentially. What about you, Laura? Would you experience that?
I would say, yeah, I would agree. It's not really a reluctance. Sometimes it's probably a lack of knowledge around it. So a lot of my clients, particularly smaller businesses, they understand the importance of having like a Google My Business or Google Maps profile, in terms of, opening hours, address, phone number. But beyond that, sometimes they lack the knowledge as to how this is actually going to help them. So part of our job would be to explain the importance of reviews as well. A lot of my clients, I think they would have Google reviews. They actually would have a lot of Facebook reviews as well. Seems to be a trend. Even if they ask some of their customers to leave a review, Facebook still seems to be quite popular. So it's still going to help in terms of SEO, but obviously Google is preferred. But I would say a lot of clients probably aren't aware of Trustpilot as well and the value of it with SEO. So definitely that's something I'm looking to push with clients in the new year.
I've noticed, I went through, it took a bit of time as you do. So we have identified 14 directory sites, review sites that are important for our industry and our business. And again, yeah, I'd be recommending the companies to do something similar, like what are the key sites, make sure your profile is up to date. Most of these sites will allow you to add photos, add examples of work, link to a couple of pages on your website. And again, if you can get a few reviews, it's gold. But it's a bit of hard work, and where do you focus? Because it does feel like you're chasing your tail at times. But I have to say, it's definitely the reviews leaning into building on our expertise, authority, and trust factors, and how visible they are. It's been incredible this year. So anyone watching this, I definitely Google ProfileTree and have a look at the reviews and impact that Nuala and Laura have had in educating clients on how important reviews are, because there's no doubt it's had a major impact in our business over the last 12 months.
Kieran, on that note, I have a question for you that I wanted to ask you today. Backlinks, opportunities to grow backlinks for 2025. What would you recommend?
Oh, so many. So again, yeah, already listed I think the directory sites, the review sites, really low hanging fruit, really nice to do. If anyone is in any partnership, we know there's lots of government support across the UK and Ireland and internationally. If you're in any way liaising with a local council or local government body, and they have any training programs or anything like that, often they would be looking for case studies or testimonials, good news stories. So if you could partner with them and be featured, that's a brilliant way to get a government, local council that's very relevant to a business, linking even maybe a whole business profile. Love them, they're brilliant. And we'd have a few of them ourselves, absolutely gold. Then local newspapers tend to be easier to get into, can be, so it's always still hard, but definitely worth pitching if you can find the journalist still on Twitter or /X, and then it's back out to publications. We are members of Chamber of Commerce. We're members of a couple of agency organisations. They all allow for us to post a number of blog posts per month on those sites. And of course, sadly, there is a monthly cost of that, but that is the game, and that allows you to build some backlinks as well. But there's some free and paid. Most of them are free, but they do require a little bit of work. And I do think it is important. Back to where, today's episode is all about EAT, isn't it? It's those showing your expertise, authority, and trust. I'd always say that Google or the Spider or the search engines or their software, running online from people who are sitting maybe in San Francisco who know nothing about businesses in Belfast, Northern Ireland, UK, London, anywhere. And it's trying to understand, does it rank one plumber over the next plumber? Again, and it's using all of these signals to understand, okay, this looks like a more legitimate business based on the reviews, based on the content on the website, based on what people are saying on other websites. So backlinks sadly breaks my heart because I used to live and breathe and focus on content. Content marketing used to be so easy. You just wrote an article, put it up. If it was good, it would rank, you get the traffic. But it's just so competitive today that does not just stand. Sadly, you need to be building your personal brand, your business brand online and getting those mentions and links back. So yeah, that would be the low hanging fruit I would start with. And then you need to be a wee bit more creative then after that. So we would take a lot of interns from around the world. We'd be posting jobs on different platforms. You'd be amazed at how many links then that leads into universities, that you work with students from universities, and next thing they'd be publishing the case studies on their website. We would have a link from Queen's University here in Belfast, for example, because of a student placement who came in and then wrote about it and it got published on the Queen's website. And that was not requested or asked. We found it one day and we're going, woohoo. And again, that's brilliant. Talk about authority and trust. So it's just being very active, and you will get them, but it is hard work.
Being a wee bit creative, thinking outside the box, and driving the authenticity of business. I think that's the key takeaway from today. Google reviews.
Google review, yeah, we're all there. Reviews anywhere, take them anywhere, so take them and run. But yeah, no, definitely as many as you can get them, and yeah, it'll only stand. It's interesting, and we're seeing, because we spend a lot of time looking at Google Maps, and I don't even think it's a number. Like we have a good number now at the moment. I don't think it's a number. I think it's the freshness. So again, like if we stopped today and didn't get another review for 6 months, I think we would just disappear from Google Maps. I actually think freshness is very important. The keywords and what the person says is critically important. And again, if that person is actively using Google Maps, if this is their first review that they've ever written, then it might look a wee bit dodgy. And I'd say, gosh, maybe 10% of the reviews we've ever got have disappeared because it's the first time someone's written a review on their account, and then Google's going, this looks a wee bit sus, so it disappears. But yeah, what to do? So yeah, chase the reviews, definitely.
Chase the reviews, stay authentic, focus on your USPs, focus on creating content that targets keywords specific to your niche and solves problems and I suppose creates opportunities for your potential customer. And, on social media, and, on tools like Ubersuggest, conducting that research is key, isn't it? To see what other content's out there and help you create informed content moving forward.
Love it. And final word with you, Laura.
Probably don't underestimate the power of SEO with social media. I think, as you say, it's definitely a holistic approach that needs to be taken moving forward. And I would always talk about undervalued social media platforms in general, in terms of TikTok maybe. But I think as a whole, yeah, moving forward, definitely keyword research beforehand. Maybe creating like linkable assets that you can use that other companies can cite you as a credible source that can help you on your website. And then definitely trying to get as many keywords in as possible with social media content.
I'm learning every day.
Every day's a skill day.
Excellent. Brilliant. Well, thank you for today. I guess we'll see everyone in the next episode.